When life gives you lemons, you add the sugar and make it sweet. You don't have to make lemonade, just make it sweet.
Boo, boo, booyah! Hey guys, welcome to the TamCam Show. We got a very special show for you, as always. As you can see here, I got this beautiful woman here dressed in lemon yellow. This is Miss CHERYL R. Dunbar, and she has an amazing story for you, I should say. I just met her a couple of weeks ago at it was a brunch, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was a brunch. And we had an amazing time. We connected. She left with a little mystery saying, hey, I want to tell you, a little bit about myself. I want to give you tell you a story about my background. Because I was curious. She was wearing lemons, guys. Beautiful yellow lemons. And now she's here to tell her story. And guys, I think you're going to love it. Miss CHERYL R. Dunbar is here today. Welcome to the studio, Miss CHERYL.
Thank you, TamCam, for having me.
Awesome. So we had to start over, and I like to be real. I have been drinking green smoothies all day. I need some food. So this is actually take two, guys. My stomach is growling. I actually drank the smoothie right before you walked in.
Okay.
And I am like, I feel like I want to eat, but I feel like I shouldn't eat. Not right now, especially since I had two smoothies this morning. But we're going to go ahead and move forward. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming out to the TamCam Show.
Thank you for having me.
So you going to tell me now? What's the lemons all about? I read up on it. And, sometimes you don't get the full story when you read, anything online. But I want to know, what is the story behind the beautiful lemons you're always wearing?
Where do you want me to start?
Let's see. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay. Well, the beginning of the lemon story is I was actually in a store. I saw a blue maxi skirt with lemons all over it. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, the skirt just spoke to me. Mm. And I know it sounds strange, but it just did.
Okay.
But then let me go back a little bit, because 3 months prior to that, I had been blindsided by a divorce.
Okay.
And I was in the process of recovering, rebounding, and that may be why the lemon spoke to me.
Okay.
And I actually saw myself in front of people talking to them about how they could take a sour situation and make it sweet.
Wow.
And basically, it doesn't have to be lemonade, but it could be lemonade, lemon pie, lemon whatever.
Wow.
And that's a little bit really about how the lemon started.
Right. Nice. So you said you came out of a situation. You want to go into more depth about what happened? How long were you in that situation before you came up with your concept of LemonSpirations? Am I saying it right?
LemonSpirations. Well, actually, I had been out of it about 3 months, but it was a divorce, and we were not happy, but I just never saw it ending the way that it did.
Okay.
So abruptly.
Okay.
And so basically, he told me it was just really no easy way to say it to me, but he was selling the house. He was moving back to his hometown, and he wanted a divorce. And he did a quick sale on the house through Open Door. So basically, I had about 30 days to move my lifetime of things and to get myself situated.
Wow.
Yeah.
So during the 3 months, because it's 3 months from the time that you had to move to you started your new venture of LemonSpirations, right? 3 months, you said?
I wouldn't say that I started LemonSpirations at that time. The skirt was just the what's the word I'm looking for?
The starting point?
Just the starting point.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah. Were you always fascinated with lemons?
I wasn't at all. That's the thing. I was not at all. It was not like I liked lemons or anything like that. And I don't know. And I mean, we're just talking. So
right.
prior to, like, after it happened, about a few days later, a friend of mine from church had come over.
Right.
And I was coming down the stairs, and she just said to me, I know your mom because we all go to church together.
Right.
She said, and I knew your dad. And she said, you're a thoroughbred, and God is going to use you to help other hurting people.
Oh.
Now, at the time.
Like she just came out and told you that?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And at the time, I was like, girl, I'm trying to get out this house. I got 3 weeks to move. I got to get my son, my grandson. Like, that was not, but I'm just tying it, if it all ties together.
Exactly,
for
yeah.
you, right? So fast forward, I moved in with my mom, who lives, and so I was just out and about. So this is about 3 months because it was June.
Right.
And so this happened in March. And then April, I, got situated.
Right.
So anyway, I was just living my life. Basically, I mean, I guess adjusting, traveling, just
living your life as a single woman.
And adjusting.
After how long?
10 years.
10 years. That is a good while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we weren't married all that time. We dated, we cohabitated, and then we married.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. So I was just kind of regrouping because I had been single for a very long time. So it wasn't like single was new to me, but it had been a while.
Right.
Right. So when I saw the skirt, it just kind of spoke to me. But that particular skirt, as much lemon stuff as I have never ever worn that skirt.
Oh.
And I have a lot of lemon stuff.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if God is just saving it for the right occasion or what.
Okay.
So as I was just doing what I do,
Right.
I started posting more on Facebook, right?
Right.
My comings and goings. And I love to write in a storytelling fashion.
Okay.
And just make it fun. I just don't.
Like short stories? Yeah.
Yeah, little things. And so people, they saw a change in me, like almost immediately, like a happier me.
Okay, I was just about to say a good change.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I had $1 for every time somebody said glow, you are glowing, I wouldn't have to worry about like anything. So actually in July, which is my birthday month, and I celebrate all month long. Okay. And I had met a friend, and I had gone to a store that I used to work in, a department store. And so when I walked in, the lady saw me, and she's like, "Hi, Cheryl." And she like literally, she was in the shoe department. She almost like flipped over herself and like did a double take.
Wait.
And she said, "You look amazing."
Oh, wow.
But she doesn't know anything about my story. But
Right.
It was kind of like, I mean, it blew.
Were you trying to like just keep yourself together, or you just happened to be feeling good that day?
I generally do, but she had not seen me in
a while.
I don't know when.
Oh, wow.
But I guess I was sharing from the transformation. She was like, "Oh my God, you look great."
Right.
And I was thinking, well, what have I been looking like to myself, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And she told me these words because I'm talking.
Yeah.
And she said, "You really look like you have the weight of the world lifted off your shoulders." But she didn't even know that truly that was a true statement, but she didn't know that. It's just that however she saw me before, when you think you're carrying your pain and your you think, we're women, so you think you're carrying it.
Exactly.
And nobody's seeing it.
Right.
But I guess I had like light years, right? So as I continued to just go about my business, doing, what I did. Now we're into December. And I had a social event to go to, a Christmas party in an organization I'm in. And so one of the ladies said, "I want to come over here and sit by you." I mean, because I want to know what's going on with you. Because I see you here, I see you there, you just glowing, you just looking so happy, da-da-da-da-da. What's his name?
Oh.
Well, she thought I had met somebody, right? She, again, didn't know anything about whether I had been married, divorced. You know how sometimes when you meet somebody new, you just got that.
Oh, yeah.
She thought I had met somebody.
Right.
And I said, I guess God, or I guess divorce. I don't know. But, it was none of that.
Yeah.
And so by the March of the next year, I just felt like I wanted to put a stake in the ground.
Right.
Like 1 year from the date that I had received the news. And that's when I came out with the LemonSpiration thing. Like I just said, you've noticed and said this and said that. And I just want to acknowledge that I guess God had, other plans for me.
Right.
And that's when I kind of did the LemonSpiration. That may have been when it started, because that was just like a coming out, so to say. And from there, I didn't even know it was so much lemon stuff. And I just truly built the brand without even like trying to.
Right.
Like I would just get earrings, I would get scarves, I would get, like lemons seemed like they were just coming after me.
Well, that's how it happens, right? As soon as you start putting your focus on one thing, you just start seeing,
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Wow, I love it, this story.
And so I feel like I'm kind of gabbing, but
No.
It was, and so that it took a life of its own. And I was just like, and then someone called me and she said, I want to talk to you. I just love, how you built a brand around the lemons.
Right.
And I'm like, I built a brand, like, because it's not like I said, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to go do, you see, it was not that type of thing.
It was taking on a life of its own.
It took a life of its own.
Wow.
So I can't take credit, like, to say, well, after that happened, I decided I was going to open a company. I was going to call it this. And
Right.
no, it didn't happen like that. So to me, I feel like I was being directed from a higher power.
Wow.
To do that. That's how I feel about it.
Wow. Once again, guys, this is CHERYL R. Dunbar, and she is the owner, CEO of LemonSpirations. And guys, I got this from her Facebook page. So LemonSpiration is a platform that encourages and inspires people to take life sour situations and turn them into sweet results. And that's what she's done with her life. And that's the story that she's telling right now. So go ahead and continue and tell us, what do you plan on doing with LemonSpiration?
Well, I'm doing speaking engagements, talking to that.
Okay.
How I bloomed where I was planted.
Right.
As that platform. I share a lot of inspiration stories because it's not just about sour situations. I mean,
Right.
But it could be an entrepreneur story. It could be
Right.
how somebody started something and it turned into this or
Right.
turned into that. And I just really like sharing good news and stories that inspire, to give other people, hope that they can make it.
Absolutely. So do you feel to believe that we need those sour moments in our life in order to love the sweetness or to enjoy the sweetness?
Well, you have to know better to know sweet, I think.
Yeah, to appreciate it. I truly believe that, the whole time we was having bad weather.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got those 1 or 2 good days, I kept on telling people, this is why we have bad weather. We would not have noticed these good days.
Right.
Had it not been for, the hail that was happening this morning. Was it hailing in your area?
No, but it rained.
It was hail. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Hail and pellets. Dallas weather is just so crazy. So you say that you're doing some speaking engagements too, right?
Right.
And when is your next speaking engagement?
It's going to be April 30th.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, or is it a seminar? Tell everyone about it. How can they join you?
Well, actually, it's at my church.
Oh, okay.
Ben Washington Baptist Church in
All right.
Irving, Texas.
All right.
When the Voyage article came out,
Right.
my pastor's wife phoned me, and she said she congratulated me on the article. But
Nice.
see, once again, she didn't know my backstory. See, everybody sees lemonade,
Yeah.
and it's like happy, they're inspired. But I don't really like talk about the divorce. Not to talk. I mean, it's just not really my forefront.
Do it bring back bad? Of course, it brings back bad memories. But do it trigger anything inside of you?
Really, and it doesn't even. I really don't know how to explain it. It doesn't. It's not about bad memories or triggering. It's just bigger than that. That
Right.
was just the catalyst that got it going. But
Right.
I'm not trying to be known as that or
Right.
giving it that. Because when it first happened, people were like, "Oh my God, you could start a support group." And I'm like, a friend has said this to me, and I said, "Girl, I'm not trying to be no poster child for no hurt woman. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I don't mean it like, that's just not what I envision or want to be known as, but that's just, I guess, how I rebounded. And
Right. I get it. I mean, but this is your brand, and I think people will gravitate to you. And it's just me personally, just knowing you and just meeting you a couple of weeks ago. It'll make people gravitate towards you more. And I mean, the lemon concept is just brilliant, you know, so I'm so glad this is attached to your whole, you know, image, because I love lemons. I use lemons every day, you know, and so every time I see a lemon, I think of you. So, I mean, I hope that's what people are now going to start doing. Like when they meet you and you tell your story, you know, I don't think people like pinpoint you to, you know, coming out of a bad marriage. You know, that's just the forefront of it. I think the most important thing people will remember is just you, you know, coming out of your situation and helping other people. I think that's I think that's what will happen, you know, but I in my opinion, I wouldn't leave out that part. You know, of course, you know, you probably want to just, you know, minimize it just a little, but I mean, I would definitely share as much as you can so people can really get to know you. Yeah.
I have been told that. They're like, you keep trying to, but that's part of the story, Cheryl.
But I only ask about the triggering because I know sometimes I don't like talking about certain things in my life because it does bring up bad memories. And if that is the case, then of course, you know, stay away from it. But if that story can help other people, I think the more you tell it, the more it'll be easier for you to share your story, you know?
Yeah, that is probably true.
Yeah.
And people do say that. And so prior to it going public, so to speak, God, I swear, it was just like he would put me in situations and I'm not even trying to talk to someone about it, but we keep talking and I keep, you know, end up saying something.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. So I was in Dillard's one day.
Okay.
And I was looking at yellow handbags. And of course, I wear yellow a lot of the times. People think it's my favorite color, but it's representing the brand. Purple was I like a lot of colors.
But purple is your favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you're a purple girl, just like me. Yeah.
So it was this lady, and she's like, "Oh, you like yellow? Is yellow your favorite color?" And of course, I was being myself and being friendly, whatever. So I don't even know how one thing led to another. And so then I just finally said, "Yeah, it's a bit of represents something." I said, "You know, it's a situation. It didn't happen in the best way possible because I really always put a spin on. There's no bitterness. You know, it's just something that didn't work out. So it's not about trying to make him look bad or it look bad. It just is what it is and what happened.
Exactly.
And so I said, but instead of being bitter, you know, I chose to be better, and this, you know, represents that and whatever. Well, she was a widow. And she had a son that was not accepting his dad's death really well. And she said, "Oh my God, your story has just so inspired me." She said, "I'm never going to look at lemons the same again." And I can't tell you how many people, but I'll be like, "God, I was just here shopping. Like, how did you end up having me talk to this person?" Like, and so many stories like that.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot one-on-one. I don't have everything figured out, and I'm honest.
Oh, you won't.
That.
I mean,
I'm just kind of, you know, finding my way.
Right, exactly. I don't think even Oprah has everything figured out.
So,
you know, you just pretty much got to wing it every day. But you're an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. So tell us about the other businesses that you do.
Well, how I started, or all of them?
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, every business that I have ever done, I never set out to do it. It was just.
I love this story. Okay, already, I love it.
Seriously.
Okay, start with the first one. I want to hear.
So the first one was Dunbar's Upper Crust, gourmet pecan pies and pastries.
Okay.
Right? And I was working at a company. And we, you know how we had spreads because I'm dating myself now.
Right.
And so I made this pecan pie, and this lady was like, "Oh my God, who made this? It's not too sweet. It's not that.
Right.
You made your own crush. I would pay you to make it, right?" And I'm just like, really? And so as I would continue to do things, people would say that. And so I had a neighbor who was in marketing and all of that. And she's like, "You really need to do something with that." And I was like, "You think?" And I was like, "Okay." And I'm a nothing ventured, nothing gained kind of person, right?
Love it.
And I said, "Okay." So she did my marketing, a brochure, and gave me the slogan that I still use to this day.
What is it?
Because I was new to marketing. If it's Dunbar's, it's done right.
Oh.
And so I was like, I like that. And so I did that, and I had all these different flavors of pecan pies. Only pecan desserts. Yeah.
Different flavors of
you know
pecan
how,
pie?
like the Cheesecake Factory has all the different. So I did that with pecan pies.
I'm from Louisiana. I've never even heard of that. Like flavored pecan.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what's
all
your
different
favorite?
combinations? I like, you know what? I like simple, but believe it, I bake, but I don't necessarily eat.
Wait, what is it?
I bake, but I don't necessarily eat.
Okay,
But the
all right.
butter pecan, the original, is probably my favorite. But
Oh.
I like cheesecake pecan pie too.
Oh, that sounds so
And I
good.
do a chocolate, a fudge, a caramel. I mean, just all different.
And this business is
combination.
like right now
No,
online.
Right now, no.
Okay.
That's my first one.
Okay.
My first baby. You
Okay.
told me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay, wait. Before you move on, because
Okay.
but I don't want to stay on pecan pie too long. Maybe because I'm hungry, I'm like just
Oh,
fascinated.
sorry.
No, don't apologize. But your pecan pie business, you're still doing it, or you're not doing it?
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it. Okay, guys, don't call her for no pecan pie.
But after that mega entrepreneur workshop we went to, I'm thinking about everything I've ever
Hey.
done and tying it together. But
You can do it
currently,
all.
I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Scratch that one, but maybe put a question mark by it. Maybe. All right. What's your next business?
So the next one was Just Set the Mood.
Okay.
Special events by design.
Okay.
So I was working at a hotel downtown, and I just love entertaining personally. Love events, creativity, and special gatherings and things like that. And I'd had this birthday tea party, and we had a limo, the whole thing. And so this coworker said to me, and she was so serious, right? She said, do you know that people would pay you to do this kind of stuff? And I guess I really didn't know about event planning at the time, you know, even though we did obviously catering and events at the hotel, but
Right.
I didn't really know like how I know now.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, so I got it together. And people would always, when they would come to gatherings, they would say, oh, you really know how to just set the mood. That's why I picked that name. You know, I would do certain things and they're like, okay, Miss Just Set the Mood was my nickname. So that's why I picked the name as a company.
I love that
once
name.
Again,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to,
Right.
I was just enjoying myself.
Right.
Right.
Some, you know what it seemed like? It seems like you're like Joan of Arc, you know, the lady who, they had a series on CBS, I think it was CBS, where God was talking to her through different people. And I feel like that's what God is doing with you. You know, I mean, that's what he does. He talks through us, and he talks through other people to us. And I think that's what he's been doing with you. I like that. Yeah. So what's going on with this business, the event planning?
Nothing.
No. Okay. So you put,
I'm just taking you said from
yeah,
where it started.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't call her for no events right now.
Well, maybe. I don't.
Yeah. All right. So what's the next business that you started?
Okay, so the next one was Tigo, which was a board game about afternoon tea, about tea time. So I was working. Is it okay to say the company?
Yeah,
I was working at the Adolphus Hotel downtown, right?
Uh-huh.
And they, are noted for their afternoon tea.
Right.
And I love prissy things. I'm a prissy girl.
Okay.
And I just thought, wow. So I had a friend come and we enjoyed the formality of it. And then I used to have these annual Christmas teas every year. But I would always try to think of entertainment. So I just came up with this fun little game. Now, I hope I don't get emotional on this one, right? Okay, so I came up with it, red construction paper.
Right.
It was designed in like a bingo thing, but Tigo, T-E-A-G-O, just happened to fit across the top. Right?
Oh.
So when you won, it was Tigo.
Right.
And it was really just a little, just a fun thing.
Right.
Well, then one day I got creative and I made each letter mean something. Like the T was like the T where you would use. The E was the black teas. The A's was the food you would have. Like it was educational.
Right.
It wasn't just about.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so then I did some creative artwork, laminated it, but it was just meant to be brought out for, like when you have girls' night out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my best friend in the world, like the sister I never had, she's like, I really think you ought to do something with this game. She said, you're so creative and you do so many things and you just put it away, file it away, and you're always just busy on to the next thing.
So even after the first two businesses, coming to the tea business, you never thought maybe I should turn this into a money-making venture? You never thought about that?
To a point, but I'll get to that.
Okay, all right.
So I was like, and so she does not use profanity, right? This friend.
Okay.
And so she became so irritated with me. And she said, Well, if you don't, she said, don't you say a damn thing to me about it when somebody else does or if they do.
Talk about a wake-up call.
And I'm like, you really think it has that much possibility? And she said, yes, I do. So what do? I go find out, the U.S. government, how to register, how to do this, how to do that, how to, budget it on a dime because I didn't have the funds to send it over to China and have 5,000, whatever. So I got with the printing company, local got, we were putting it together with the, and then I didn't even know that tea was so big and they had a tea expo.
Wow.
And so the game went international.
What?
Yeah. And
wait, the game you created went.
Yeah, and they were buying it in England, right? So and so tea shops would have it, and then they would have tea-go nights, and they had start having events. They found creative ways, to use the game. And I would speak at churches and do etiquette classes with children and things like that.
Right.
And, so that was the next venture.
Okay.
Is
that one? You know what my question is.
Right. And no, we're going to tie it all up at the end.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So.
Trying to get you some business, girl.
I know, and I appreciate it. And so then that was about the time that I kind of got, married.
Okay.
Right? And then through no fault of anybody's, you just kind of slip into a different thing and don't have that same motivation, so to speak.
Okay.
So then I started, I love to shop. I call myself a black belt shopper. And can I tell a funny story?
Go ahead.
So I have a grandson, and he wanted something. I don't even remember what it is, but I'm not up on all the latest children's things anymore. And he calls me Maxi. That's my grandma's name, CHERYL Maxi. I don't mind being a proud grandmother, but I need a sassy name like me. So he's like, I don't think you can find it because it's probably really hard to find. I said, I'm a black belt shopper. You didn't know that? And he said, I don't know what that means. And this is really what I really love about my well, I'm just saying, if he doesn't understand something, he doesn't pretend. He will ask you. Yeah. And I like that, to be able to explain.
Exactly, yeah. How old is he?
He's 9.
9, okay.
But he was 9. It wasn't 9 then. But anyway, he said, I don't think I know what that means. And I said, do you know what a black belt is in karate? And he said, yeah, somebody that's really good. And he's like, oh. And so I like,
I love that moment.
Moments, yeah. So he's like, I said, yeah, I can find it. But anyway, so I started doing I say personal shopping, but resale shopping, shopping to resell, because I can, truly find good bargains. And I have customers that just really like it, and it's a win-win for both of us. So nice. I did that a lot, and eBay, all of that. So then that was the next thing that I was doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I still do that. And then I kind of been trying to get into, I call it She by CHERYL, but sometimes people don't know how to put things together, or they think I have a unique style, not necessarily a designer style, but just a art of putting something together, making it look like something.
Okay.
So I enjoy that.
Okay. So right now you have 2 active businesses, which is you being a designer or stylist. Should I say that? Should we just put it out there?
We put it out there. We'll put it out there.
Okay.
I will style them.
All right. And we have the Tigo, and that's still going on, right?
That is not still going on.
That is still.
So we have the styling, and we have LemonSpirations.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and circle back to LemonSpirations. What is the future for LemonSpiration?
I think the future is helping people. I think it's speaking. I think I omitted that back in October, I had an event called Girl, Come Get Your Zest Back.
Ooh.
Because that's really like what it is about. Well,
like you put the event together. It was your event.
Yes, it was.
And why did you put this event together?
We had been in COVID. And I feel like people go through things, women and other people too, but it was meant to be a girls' event. But it was like, girl, come get your zest back. And it was talking about that from the inside out. Right. Yeah. And so I'd like to do more of that. And as we come out of COVID, and I don't mean to say everything about COVID, but people are still leery sometimes about, being in public places doing those kind of things. I don't see it as a Zoom event, but I'd like to see those kind of events. And I'd like to speak at retreats.
Right. Of course.
Those type of things to tell people how they can get their zest back, how life can give them a bitter pill, but they can add the sugar and make it sweet.
Oh, I love all those metaphors. So nice. So, all right. So we're going to wrap up. So anything you want everybody to know about you, the next event, where can they find you on social media as well? Let's go ahead and start there. Where they can find you on social media.
My personal page is CHERYL R Dunbar. LemonSpirations with CHERYL. On IG, it's at see CHERYL with a C.
Okay.
We didn't talk about that. Okay, see CHERYL with a C. And I think that's it. I do actually have a YouTube that's CHERYL Dunbar too.
Okay. All right. So, any words of inspiration for anyone who can hear your voice, who's going through a rough time right now, and it seemed like there's no way out? Do you have any advice? I
would say as long as you can look up. Well, the famous Les Brown said it. Yeah, but I subscribe to that. If you can look up, that you can get up. And for me, the fire inside me burned brighter than everything that seemed to be burning down around me. Okay. And just keep hope, to be hopeful, but I don't really mean to make it sound easy, but I think you have to want it, to want to get up and get out and not just, wallow in it and say, woe is me and why me, and feel sorry for myself. And I just don't have that kind of, that's just not me. No, that's not you. And I can tell that it wasn't you. That's why I was so excited to have you on the show, because I was like, this lady is a firecracker. Yeah. And I have to be careful I say I have to be careful because I'm saying, I don't want to say like craft my story. And I know I'm just, because the way it happened, people say, well, when were you broken? Like they see the joy, but I'm told they need the whole thing to, see it. And I just didn't have the story. My story's not like that. Right. And what I went through when I was in it, in the marriage still. So by the time that had happened, it was just like my prayers were answered. I didn't know they was going to be answered that way. Right. But all my misery was basically, I went through it while I was still in it. Right. So I don't have that like how you did it after, because that was the freeing part for me. So it's a little, like you say, it will manifest itself the way it's supposed to. I just tell it the way, it happened, but I don't want to gloss it. And sometimes people, and I don't think you should. I think you should tell the full story, so people can, really, really get to know you. I think that's what's going to attract more people to hear your story, because you said you have a book coming out too, or you're working on a book. I am. Yeah. I started doing that from the beginning. I was journaling, and I will be, some of the thing is because I'm so positive. I was trying to, how do I say, write it in like a positive way. Right. And a cousin said, you have to tell when you was down in the drought. You're not trying to make anybody look bad, because that's not really my motive. She said, but I have to agree with it. Is your story. But I was trying to write it. Well, why? Why were you trying to like sugarcoat it? I mean, I was just talking to someone, my godmother, the other day. I was saying, I'm so glad, not glad, but Mary J. Blige, she has the best albums when she's going through the mess, and you don't ever want to wish anything bad on anyone. But honestly, those are the ones that I guess people can really, really relate to, So I think it goes for you as well. So tell everything about your story. I mean, of course, keep something to yourself, but but make people want to know more about you, because if you're giving too much positivity about your brand and not the other side of it, it's gonna kind of be off balance a little. You're gonna be like, okay, why should I follow her? But if you tell them about why you're doing what you're doing right now, I think more people gravitate towards you. I think so. Yeah. And I think that's what got me when I was reading your story online. I was like, wow, really? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember last summer I went to Colorado to mountain climb. Nobody told me. No one told me I should have practiced first.
But anyway, I got to the first summit. There's 3 summits that you go over. And I was like, and I videotaped it the whole time. Never put it on YouTube yet, but I plan on doing it. It's just so long. I got so much content. But I kept on saying on my way back, I wasn't going to post it because I didn't actually make it to the top. Well, when I was going down, I was telling everybody that, hey, I don't know if I'm going to post this. I really do want everybody to know this is what I did. But everybody's like, I will definitely watch that. They say, because if you go online, every YouTube story ends with them making it to the top. No, I want to hear about the struggle. I want to hear about the journey. And like they say, sometimes the journey is way better than the destination. Of course, we know like right now you're in a better place, but we want to know, okay, where did the journey begin? That would be my advice to you. Give people the full journey, not just the destination. Like, okay, we're going to be positive. It's going to be nothing but sweet lemonade. No, we want to hear those sour stories. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's some good feedback. And I have been told that, privately, like, we want to know the other stuff. And the brand is in process. And I will share, like a restaurant that I frequent. I went in.
You are a foodie too.
That's another thing. I like doing food reviews. They say if you do what you love, you really will never work.
Yeah.
And I do it. Everything I do like it is work. And maybe some newspapers say, hey, do you want to come do this?
Hello.
I do it like
Exhibit A.
Yeah. So, I'm curious to see how he wraps all this up, but I just really, truly enjoy my life. But when I went in, the restaurant's wife, the owner's wife had started following me, but the girl who waits on me all the time that has my orders to go, she's like, I was asking her, like, is she like a life coach? And then I quickly told her the little story, like I was divorced, but instead of being bitter, I became better,
Yeah.
She said, I never would have tied. So people really don't necessarily tie it to divorce, and maybe they do need, like you say, something to tie it to be more inspired. Yeah,
right.
But I get DMs and even private posts or on social media, like, I look forward every day to your daily inspiration, or you have no idea this or that. But maybe it could be more, and I don't feel like I'm withholding. I just felt like I wasn't trying to focus on that. But
right.
I mean, maybe
I get
there's
it.
something to be said for that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to dwell on it, but I do feel like every piece of content needs balance. And had they written that story about you in Voyage, Dallas, then and just said, okay, this is what she did. She started this business because she just likes lemons.
That wouldn't have.
No, it wouldn't have. Yeah, what caught my eye was your background, your story, and I was like, wow, because it's not every day you meet someone who had trauma, in their life, if you want to call that, if you will. So, thank you so much for sharing your story. And all right, guys. Well, this again is CHERYL R. Dunbar. Do you go by CHERYL Dunbar or CHERYL R. Dunbar?
Both.
Okay. All right, guys. This is your girl TamCam with Miss CHERYL R. Dunbar. I like the R.
Yeah,
because she's she's radiant, guys. We're going to go ahead and go. Thank you so much for joining the TamCam show. Another beautiful interview down for Women's History Month. Guys, if you know anyone who has an amazing story, have them to call the TamCam show. I want to have them on the show and definitely, showcase them. Thank you once again, Miss CHERYL, for being here.
Having me.
And we are out.